All right, my good people. This is Charles. I am Brandon Madison of Nexxlegacy Radio, and I have with me a guest. I mean, you could call him a rising star. You can call him one of the top ones coming into the game. You can call it what you want, but just make sure you take notice to my homeboy. And you know what I'm saying? He coming fresh with a lot of new shit. Like he has a lot of good stuff coming, and that's on the horizon. And this man's catalog is super thick. And I want to welcome my homeboy Creflo in the building on that legacy. What it do? What it do?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on?
Man, appreciate the tap in, bro. Appreciate it. So
I
listen,
appreciate the invite.
for those that's trying to get to know you for the very first time, I want you to get to it with an origin story about how you got your wait, hold up. Before we
All right.
even do that, I need to know how did you come up with the name Creflo though?
So, so I used to go by VP the Street Scholar, and what happened was my Instagram got hacked. So when my
Oh,
Instagram got hacked, this is like I had over 10,000 followers, like it's
oh,
popping. We was on the rise at this time. So I
oh.
called one of my partners and he tells me like we're going back and forth. I'm like, bro, I don't know what to do. The guy who hacked my Instagram, he's trying to extort me out of $500 to get the Instagram
What?
back. And I'm like, I'm not paying it. We not paying it.
What?
So he was like, start a new Instagram. So at this point, we're going over names to go for my Instagram. So he's kicking out all these names. And everything I do at that point when I was VP the Street Scholar, I would add the scholar moniker on it as far as like Instagram names and certain things. So he was
Okay.
like, I got it. He was like, change your name to Creflo Scholar, like Creflo Dollar, but your name Creflo Scholar because you be preaching that real to the streets. And I was
Okay.
like, bro, that's it. So I started running with that as my Instagram handle. And a good friend of mine, that's he's the program director now over E93, and I think it's Kiss down here. His name is
Yeah.
CJ the DJ. Uh, he saw the name change and he was like, "Bro, I definitely like the name change." He was like, "I think if you switch your whole thing over to Creflo, like switch the whole brand over to Creflo, just plain Creflo, you'll see like major change in in what you're doing." And I'm like, bro, I'm not changing it. I've been building VP the Street Scholar for years. Like, no,
Yeah.
we're not doing it. But over time, he kept calling me Creflo because at that point he was my road DJ, like doing a lot with me and hands on with the brand. And he always kept calling like, "Hey, change your name to Creflo." To the point he started calling me Creflo Noriega, all types of stuff. So I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna change it. So then back in 2023, like this is when we're at the height of working. My
Yeah.
father, he was getting ready to pass, and it was just like music just got to a point where it was just like I ain't feeling it no more. So I took me a whole hiatus, took a mean break.
Wow.
And at that point, I was like, when I was sitting there after my father passed, like my father was a great man. I was named after him. That's why the project that I dropped is called the Vernell Cutter Project, to name it after
Hmm.
him.
Hmm.
I was like, what can I do? Especially sitting at his funeral, hearing all the great accolades he did. And I was like, these are some big shoes to fill. So like once I took that break and when I was ready to come back, I was like, yeah, I gotta kill VP the Street Scholar and come back as Creflo. And I just, did a lot of work on the brand and trying to figure out mentally how I was gonna come back with the brand and came back as Creflo, and we spell it in all caps because when I read in the Bible, like they spell Jesus in all caps, and it's like that means they're shouting his name from like the top of the wall. So when you say Creflo, make sure they're shouting it from the top of the walls. We here.
Wow. I mean, rebranding yourself is always a risk, right? Like, no matter what you do, no matter what it is, like you rebrand your name, you rebrand your logo, whatever, but for you to like stay with it and then have a setback and then have a comeback with the name and not just kind of like, you know what? All right, it's cool. And I ain't gonna lie, man, it grew on me. The moment I saw like some of your stuff, I was like, man, that's different. So that's why I was like, hold on, let's just start there with it though. But man, props up top for you for not giving up though. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Because
nah, never.
not a lot
Nah,
of
sometimes
people.
you reinventing yourself, man, and that's what a lot of people don't understand too. Sometimes you have to evolve, especially with however the game and the industry is going.
Yeah,
Evolution is key. in order to really staying around and being relevant.
So how'd you get started doing music?
Young, bro. I've been like involved in music and rapping and entertaining like classmates since I've been in elementary school, winning uh talent shows and everything. It's just always been in me, like music. And my father, he was a pastor, but him, my mother, she was one of those Saturday morning mothers listening to music.
All
My
right.
father, he was deep in music, so it's just always been around me, and it's always something that's just been in me. So it's just something that I have a passion for more than anything. So I've always loved it. But now just really like learning the industry and the business as well. You feel me? Because a lot of people, my thing is I preach to people like we be trying to hit the rap lottery or the music lottery, not really understanding that we're servicing the people with this gift that God gives us. So you got to
That's
really
it.
understand and understanding as well on the outside that is music and it's a business. That's why it's the music industry. So you got to understand it's a business and you got to understand with branding and marketing how to market and brand yourself. So that's what it's been for me.
Uh, was there a particular song? I always ask this to a lot of people. So when I do a deep dive on their whole journey in this music game, and you started when you was young, was there a specific song that just changed your life or your mood or your motivation to like, you know what, I could do this, but I could do it my way though.
It wasn't more so a song. It was more so the day when it hit the radio that Tupac died. Like I say, my father, he was a big hip hop head, even though being a
Yeah,
pastor. So like we was in the car that day. I can remember it clear as day, and it aired across the radio. Tupac just died, and like I could see him like how he was shaken by it, and just seeing the whole how the community was shaken by it. And for some reason, being young, it still shook me where I cried, and I was like. I felt something. And then when my father he took me to Africa when I was 14, the first thing that they asked me when I got over there was Tupac tape. You got a Tupac tape? So just seeing how he touched the world and that somebody could have people that don't even speak the same language as you, but we were able to connect because of his music made me want to do music because I understand that could bring people together in the world. Like I saw that young and I really recognized and noticed that, and that's what sparked my passion to want to go even harder.
403 when all bro, I was picking my from school and I heard it on the radio. The unfortunate news of telling him and everybody he was walking up to my car to take to say that. So like you, it was a moment. Like your dad, it was a moment. Like it was a moment in time where it just stood still. And
Yeah.
like you, I didn't know the brother outside of his music and his journey, but he was just like one of us. You know what I'm saying? To come from where he came from to get to where he was, and for him to just be like gone, hit a lot of people. So yeah, bro, we cried, we teared up. It was a moment, but when you take that, because you said your pops was super super deep into his life and career, and you seem to have a great relationship, and I'm gonna say still to this day with your dad, because a lot of things you pushing is I'm sure you're doing it in his memory. So tell the people a little bit of just about your relationship with pops.
Uh, it was a love-hate relationship, you feel me? Because just to dive into it, when I was 10 or in fifth grade, we got kicked out of church. And in my eyes, like he was like my
Wait, wait,
hero. He's
wait.
always been my
Kicked out of
hero.
church?
Yeah, we got kicked out of church.
Kicked out of church.
Like excommunicated. Like y'all got to go. Like y'all can't come back here.
Wow.
Like one thing about my pops, and people know it. Like my pops was a hellified guy, great dude. You feel me? Great in the
Yeah,
word, great in spirit, but he had his flaws like any other man. You feel me? And we got kicked out of the church because of a lot of things he did, a lot of politics as well that
I got you.
goes with church. But yeah, we got kicked out of church, and at that moment, it's because I used to see how great he was when he was in that pulpit and how he could put on. That was one of those disappointing moments for me as well. Like, bro, how could you embarrass us and put us here? You feel me? Because I didn't understand the politics when I was young. I just
Mhm.
knew we standing in front of this church and these folks telling us we got to go. And then over the years, you feel me, we had that love hate relationship where it was like at one point it's like I'm the father, and then it's like he the son, and then I'm the son again, and he's the father. So it's just because I had to grow up really fast. So it
No
was just
doubt.
like, but that's always been my best friend. That was my sensei. That's my mentor. He was my biggest fan. Like, I love him to death. So, and through my career, he was always the first one to pick up a disc, to pick up whatever I was pushing and go dissect it and come back and ask me questions. What you meant by this? What you meant by that?
Wow.
And just even my last project when I was VP the Street Scholar, I did everything and dedicated everything to him. Like that album, I did it in like 2 months of just straight work and going in the studio nonstop. And then when I presented it to him, it was like he took it. My mama said he made him play it. He made her play it every day when she was taking him to his chemo. Like that's all he wanted to hear. That's how big a fan he was to me. That's how much he impacted me and believed in me. So I can't never say I'm one of those people that didn't have a father who wasn't there. My father didn't believe in me. No, this man believed in me, sat down many times and told me everything I did was for you so that you could be greater than me. And when I say he traveled the world pastoring, he traveled the world pastoring.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, when he passed, that was one of those moments. Like when I'm hearing all these people talk about him at his funeral and the dedications, it's like, how do I feel these shoes? How do I feel these shoes? So I had to take me a step back moment to just really sit down with myself and realize like what was I doing as VP the Street Scholar and why didn't I get to the level where I was wanted to get to? And then I had to realize like you got to rebrand, you got to change the frequency, you got to do something different, and that's really how the Creflo thing came about for real.
You know what, bro? I could, Cref, I could respect that. But deeper than that, I commend you for acknowledging what time it is in your life where you do got to step back. Most people still continue to go on with as damaged goods and just radiate that negativity to a lot of other people, and that's how everybody crash out. Not just
Yeah.
yourself, but everybody around you. So it's different when you could just say, "Hey, you know what? I got to do this for me. I got to step back." And I got to just make sure that I do what I need to do so I can get right, so I can make sure that whatever I do is going to be done in the memory of Pops, but also for myself so I can grind it out and do what I can. And are you a parent or nah? You got
So
kids?
nah, so
No
in
kids?
2020, I had a son, but he was a stillborn. And that's what actually that was another one of those moments where I was at a standstill and not doing any music. I had came back from prison in 2017 and I just wasn't feeling music anymore. So I took me a step back, was working, then was about to have my son. And he ended up being a stillborn. His mother called me that day, like something's wrong. We went to the hospital, found out he wasn't going to make it. And the doctor asked me when she had, because she actually still had to deliver him. And she was like, the doctor asked me, did I want to cut his umbilical cord? And I'm like, yes, this is still my son. Like,
Hmm.
so I cut the umbilical cord. And when I cut his umbilical cord, I felt something go through me. And I didn't know what that was, but it was an energy that I felt go through me. So probably for 4 to 5 months, I was just out here doing what I do. You feel me? Out here making money, living life. The pandemic had just hit.
Yeah.
But it was a time where I was making so much money and just doing my thing, and everybody was stepping to me like, "V, you back doing music?" And I'm like, "Nah, I ain't rapping." And they were like, "Oh, okay." And I heard that over like 10 times, and I was like, maybe I need to take me one more shot at it. So
Yeah.
I came back once again, started doing music. I dropped the EP. And then once I dropped the EP, that's when once again I stepped to my good friend CJ the DJ. I did a radio interview with him and we had a talk about intent and purpose. And he told me like, always remember that if you don't know your purpose and your intent, then nobody will be able to help you, because if you're moving with false intent and purpose, then nobody will be able to help you. Whether your intent and your purpose is money, if people know that, then people know they can help you. Or whatever your intent is, you got to know your intent. So
Yeah.
after we had that talk, and I was like, well, really, what is my intent and my purpose? And I just started praying and dwelling over, and it was my son. So that next album I dropped when I came out was the Kyle album, and I dedicated to him. The cover is me that day when I was holding him in the hospital, and I dedicated that to him. And when I was doing that, I didn't understand how many people had went through that particular situation. So when I was promoting that album and going through my push with that, so many people was coming up to me after shows, because what I would do after shows is tell everybody, I don't know whatever y'all got going on with your baby mothers or your baby fathers or whatever it is. But if your kids are here, go home and hug your kids. Love on your kids. Because my son, he's not here. I didn't get to kick it, pitch at a ball, or nothing with him. So, and then I used to tell people now on the count of three, if anything I said touched y'all, I need y'all to say, we love you, Kyle. And that's what I would do at all my shows. So then people would come up to me and you don't know, like I went through that as well, and it's touching me and like so that what it was. And I found out like that's when I really started learning about intent and purpose and just making sure you have good intents and purpose with whatever you're doing.
But see, here's a thing that again that is relatable when it comes to you and how you're handling what you're doing for yourself. Because for one, it's deeper than that. You have your son, because I still consider you as a parent. So you still, as a parent, in honor of your son, in honor of your father, you surrender. There was a moment in time, and you don't have to tell me when that time was. It could have been before or after these situations where you were like, you know what, I gotta surrender to who I am and what I
Mm-hmm.
want to be and how I want to be moving forward, not just because I want to do it to feel good and make money and stuff like that, but to just honor those who are no longer here that I love, that was a piece of me as well. So somewhere along your lifespan, you were like, okay, I got to surrender that. But I tell people this too: surrendering means practicing this every day. Not saying
Yep.
that you got to be perfect, not saying that you got to do everything aligned with the right type of thing, but your effort got to be that way. You have
Yep.
to put it out there where it means something to you, and doing this matters not just to you, but for other people to feel it. So I'm feeling you right now. And do you take these memories that you got with Pops and with your son into the booth with you sometimes? And then how is your strategy in terms of trying to be able to get what you feel out there to the people?
So before, when I can tell you this truthfully, when I was VP the Street Scholar, I was egotistical and prideful, and everything about it was, this is me. Y'all don't see how talented I am, and I was putting into, yeah, I've been in the streets. I did this trying to impress people and show people how street I was. But then once I killed him off, I had to sit down with myself and do a lot of research. I did a lot of reading before I even dropped this Creflo, like, because I did that at the top of 25. Because I did a whole pilgrimage actually to kill VP the Street Scholar. I did a 13-mile trek from my apartment where I stayed at to my mother's house to like kill VP the Street Scholar. And through that whole trek, when I was running, walking it, I was listening to nothing but his music before I killed him. You feel me? His music is still up too. Like the music is still up. I didn't want to get rid of the music because
Wow.
people might want to go back and listen to that. You feel me? But the thing for me was just I'm trying to give you the right answer, the like, very correct answer. The thing for me is just always now realizing that God gave me a gift, and when he gives you a gift, it's to service the people. Like, so now when I make music, I'm thinking about the people and I'm not thinking about myself. I'm not thinking about beneficial gains. I'm not thinking about what can I get out of this. I'm thinking about how can this help somebody? Even though I'm telling my story, or I'm telling what I went through, how can this help somebody? So before I even get in the booth, I lay down, I listen to the track that I'm about to record because I don't write. So I listen to what it is I'm about to do, and then I think about the people before I transmute this energy because I want them to feel me. It's not just making a song. I really want them to feel me because this is what people take through their day, whether they're listening to this music while they're at work, whether they're in the car, whether they're cleaning up. So I want this to touch their lives and be able to move them because I understand, like, just like those artists like Pac and the Jeezys and the Jay-Z's, the people I love, we live vicariously through those people. So if somebody's going to live vicariously through me, I want to transmute the right energy into whatever I'm doing when I'm making music.
I got you. And you're not gonna escape this by saying, now I heard you when you say you don't write. So
All
you
right.
don't write, right. You just get in the booth and you just figure it out.
Nah, that came from a good friend of mine. Like I watched
What?
him, like one of a good friend of mine. He was like, "V, this is a conversation. You feel me? Like you're having a conversation with the people, and if you want them to feel you, like writing it, you gonna get trapped on that paper. You feel me? Or if you wrote this at the
Wow.
house, if you wrote it at the house and you're trying to find that energy that you wrote it at that time." He was like, "So I don't care if you got to piece it together and punch in. He was like, spit it from your balls, bro. Spit it from your soul, bro. So now when I get in there, I spit it from my balls. You feel me? I spit it from my soul.
He says spit it from your balls.
Spit it from your
Say
balls,
not with
bro.
your chest. Not with
Nah,
your
spit it from
chest.
your dig deep.
Oh
Dig deep. You gotta dig deep.
Bruh, hey, you know what? Tremendous. I know there's a lot of other MCs that do that though, and I always find it fascinating too because I dabble in music from time to time. I'm a writing guy, but I understand the distractions of it. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
like, you not going in with like pure emotion. You overthink it, I guess you could say, when you write it or putting
Yeah.
something down, in my opinion. So I get that part because then you start, damn, did this bar match or this bar do this or whatever? So then you go in. So all right, man. So when you're doing your thing, are you no matter what the title of the song is gonna be, you just go in there. Are you off pure emotion of the concept of what you want to rap about, or
But
what?
before then, I'ma sit down with the engineer or whoever I may bring in the studio that day. Like if I bring artists in that day, we gonna have us a talk before we even do it. Because like I said, writing again, you might have sat home and write this energetic crunk song and then had a shitty ass day.
Yeah.
How are you gonna put that energy into the song?
For real,
When
bro.
you're sitting here sad as fuck, but you want to go in and you want to make a song about party and turn up. Nah, how are you feeling today, bro? How are you feeling? And that's what I
For
had to
real.
realize. Like, even with me when I'm recording, how am I feeling? This is what I'm going to give y'all my raw emotion of this day. So when I even hear songs, when I play them back, it's like, ooh, I remember how I was feeling that day.
I love it. I love it. Hey man, you can't front on that, man. That's pure artistry in itself. And those who do it, you included, gotta be commended on top. Cause I know it's difficult. It's not easy to remember it, especially when you're done with it and before it's mixed and mastered or whatever. And when you perform it, you still gotta remember it though. You still have to be able to recite it as if you were still live in the booth doing it. So you got to be committed because I know it's difficult, man. You talking like it's easy though, but
Nah,
I
it
know it's
is because
not.
I ain't gonna lie. God gave me a gift to retain information, bro. Like I retain. That's one of the gifts He gave me where I can retain information like very well. So even when I go do it in the booth, like the engineers be looking at me like, bro, how do you when it's come
Yeah,
time to like in and out to do ad libs? They like, bro, how do you remember that? You just wrote it, and I was like, I didn't write it for one. It came from my soul. You feel me? It came from the universe and the higher ups. You feel me? So that's how. This is how I'm
check.
feeling, bro. Like that's how. Now I don't be knowing it word for word. Like I have to go back and listen to it in the
No
car.
doubt,
But
no
once I
doubt.
go back and I have the, whether it's the first mix or whatever, the rough mix, then it's like, and it really be like second day. Like after that night or that first day, it might be like, okay, yeah, this dope. But that second day is when I be knowing, like, okay, I was going in that day.
You
Like
was
I was
you.
going in yesterday. You feel me? Like, yeah.
Hey, all that sounds to me is like when you exercise your ability to do your gift, like you said, it's God's gift, right? So when you exercise that ability to do it, it's like you're having multiple out of body experiences through
Of course.
each paragraph of your journey with music, right? So
Of
each
course.
song is a paragraph. So you go through all this shit, right? Doing
Mhm.
it the way you see fit and running it back. I'm sure it is like a culture shock to you and be like, oh, like you mentioned earlier, oh, I was on that though. And I came out this way. Like sometimes it probably surprises you, right?
Yeah, like even it's a funny story. So me and like I said, my partner CJ, because he was working on the Nine album one time, and we were in the studio. I was sleep, like literally in the studio sleep, because I had a long day. But everybody was in the studio having a conversation about like sharks and how they live in water and all these things. So instantly when I woke up and I'm like, y'all ready for me to record? And they just look back like, what? So then when I go into record, literally, I promise you, I am like dead sleep. But when I go in, I started regurgitating things about the conversation they were having. You feel me? It's like, and it was like a bar where I was like, how I know I'm a shark and even know I can't swim. And they was like, what? Like, how do you come up with these things? And I'm like, I don't know. My mind just be picking it up or hearing the frequency. You feel me? What's going
Uh,
on? I don't know.
so I'm gonna ask you this, aside from music, because to me, you just have that gift, and that gift, a lot of people say they have that gift when they're acting, when they get a script in front of them, and they
Okay.
literally transform into the person that is on that script.
Mhm.
You seem to have that. Have you dabbled a little bit into, like, you know what I'm saying, anything on the movie level or something?
That's the 5 year plan. So after 5 years of Creflo, I will be. That's what I'm gonna do. Like God, He's starting to send me movies like through my dreams. Like I've seen
Come
movies.
on.
Like He's already sending them to me. So it's like that's gonna be the 5 year plan is to do music, help as many people as I can in this music journey, and then I'm going off to start trying to be the next Scorsese. Man, that's the goal.
And it's hella random because I wasn't even going to ask you that question, but because you're saying what you're saying, I'm bringing it up. So we putting it all out there. The
It's out there.
frequency is
Like
real. So,
yeah.
hey, impressive, bruh, impressive. So, listen, man, you've been on this journey for a long time. You've probably seen a lot in this business. So, how do you feel about this current state? Not just the state of music, but your culture in hip hop or whatever. How you feel about it?
I love it. I love it. I used to be one of those angry people, like one of those angry people, and it was because I wanted to be in that spot and I wanted to be there so bad. But then once I had this sit down and I had this transformation, this Creflo, and like I really had to talk with God about what was gonna transpire, I know my time's coming, you feel me? So and just seeing how the game is shifting and everything, I feel like everything is shifting for me to be able to come through and be a bishop and to talk to the youngsters now, you feel me? Because I feel like that's what we are in this game as artists. We're young ministers, we're bishops, we're preachers, we're pastors, you feel me? And I feel like as you get to certain levels, when they're younger, they're just that young, thriving minister that's on the come up. Then, you get to reverend status. Once you done did a lot of work and put in some work, then you become pastor, then you get the bishop. And I feel
Right.
like I'm at bishop status now, you feel me? And I feel like I really got that message that's gonna shift the culture and really start shaping things. I know it's a lot of work that has to be done, but I'm here for it. Like I said, we got a 5 year plan, so hey, 5 years, so
There it
that's a
is.
lot of time when a lot of work can be put in. You feel me? I have a great team behind me. Shout out to my manager Queen. Like she really like even when you was asking about that hiatus, when I went and told her about it, like she was like, "Do what you got to do. I'm here," and I was like, "I appreciate it." So to have people like that in my corner, so it's just like we here, man. We here, and there's nothing gonna stop.
It's different when you got a team around you that's not yes people that will pour into you and give you the honest real about whatever situation and just be supportive, but also hit you with the realism of what it is. Like, no, you can't do that. Or,
Yep,
you know
definitely.
what, this energy is not right. What's going on with you? And I think that resonates to just the kind of team you should always have. I feel like a lot of people should have that. But you mentioned something that was important, bro, because I got a business partner and homeboy who's listening right now, bro, Meezy from Dago, shout out.
Shout
Um,
out.
we were talking about just because I told him the other day I was like, bro, he has a different like take on younger artists at this day and age, and we're probably roughly the same age or whatnot. And I have a pure disconnection because there's a lot of creativity that I don't see, and it's frustrating because you have talent but no creativity, no creative gene. You can see it clear as day, sounding like whoever, but not yourself. It's weird. So he
Mhm.
was like, nah, I gotta nurture these young people and just give them the real, like you was kind of telling me, right? So I've come a long way. I don't want to say I come a long way, but I think I changed my perspective on what you just mentioned in terms of younger artists with no direction, because maybe all they need is for somebody who's real with them to sit them down and say, hey, this route is not the route musically because it's not your route. Go your lane and do whatever it is you got to do to make it right for yourself at the end of the day. So some of that correlates into this day and age when it comes to music, because I don't know, Cref. I'm big on creativity, man, and your music don't sound like somebody else's. I've listened to a lot of shit on your catalog. You don't sound like somebody. You sound like you.
Nah,
And
thank you. But it's
props up
years to
top
get
for
to
that.
that, and that's why I say I wouldn't never tell a youngster how to do it. All I would tell them is keep staying on the journey. If this is what you want to do, keep staying on the journey and finding you. But if you gotta go, if you feel like you gotta go sound like somebody else at this time, or you gotta do all these things, just work on your style, work on your craft, continue to work on it. But like I said, I used to be that person when I really was in it, trying to come up and pursuing the wrong things and thinking like, man, these motherfuckers sound like somebody else and they not they self and this, that, and the third and getting angry. And it's like, nah, I can't, I don't get angry at it no more. You feel me? Like, because I just realized that I was just projecting my anger onto those people. When it's like, nah, I encourage and I root for anybody now, you feel me? Because I know what God has for me now wholeheartedly. So it's like I know I'm gonna win. So and I just want to see everybody else win. There's plenty of room for everybody else, but it's only one craft. That's for sure.
Facts there, facts there. What about this industry that you see that, I mean, as positive as you are, and I appreciate that, there's also room for improvement. So what about the game that you see right now that you wish would change?
Streaming,
Hey,
streaming.
for
That's about it.
real.
That's
Like
about
the
it.
the the money that comes with that too, though. I'm just
It's,
saying,
it's not
like,
even the money, bro. It's not even the money. It's just because it's a good side and a bad side to it. The good side is that you get to see directly now who your demographic is. You feel me? You got easier access to your demographic. But now it's like oversaturated and it's like a buffet now. You feel me? And people can get tired of you very quickly because they can just go stream and pick up whatever they want to. You feel
yeah,
me? It's not like that CD era where you was stuck with that product and having to listen to that. You feel me? Nah, they can, okay, I'm off this and go to this and jump to this and jump to that. You feel me? So but once again, when you have the right frequency, I believe you'll continue to keep the attention span. So that's why I say it's only one crowd.
also, man, I feel like when it comes to the game, I see a lot of people out on a lot, like a lot of OG artists. They lost a lot on these situations when it comes to that. I wish there was a situation where we would see like a union form where someone could be able to eat generationally from the work that you do, because to me I always find that what you do is important, is impactful, but you want it to live forever. So if you have kids, future kids, family, whatever, they could be able to eat off what you did and so on and so forth, but we don't really see that at all. Maybe the one percenters got it because that's who they are, but it's that part's different when it comes to that. And I know we're just talking about it, spitballing it, because it hasn't happened for decades on end. But that's the one thing I really and truly wish that, I wish that Diana Ross's family ate off of everything that she did with the Supremes and Mary
I got
Wilson and so on and so forth. You get what I mean? Like, that would be amazing. Even the estate of Marvin Gaye, like everything that happens. And you remember when DMX passed away, right? Like,
you. Yeah,
his music shot up the charts like real quick, most streamed, blah blah blah, after he died, right? I wish that there was an estate that would take care of that on
I got
behalf of his family. You get what I mean?
you. Yeah.
So here we are though. With this, we have internet, we have social media. Like, how you feel about social media in general?
It's a tool. It's another tool that if you have to know how to utilize it and utilize it properly. Like you can have a diamond shovel, but if you don't utilize it properly, you're not gonna do enough digging. You feel me? You can have a half a shovel, but if you got that ambition in you and that drive and you know what you're digging for,
For
you
real.
gonna you gonna dig up what you're trying to get. So once again, it's a tool. It's all on how you use the tool. Some people misuse it. Some people use it properly. Some people use what they got to get what they're trying to get. So it's all on how you utilize the tools.
Facts there. And the tool piece is what I tell people as well. Like, it is. Nothing that nobody says or does will, I might come across some things that motivates me or whatever, but I always take it at face value and I don't take it for granted at all. It's just
Yeah,
like even the negativity, like they could say whatever at this point. Do I really care? Will it like break me to the point where I just want to log off and never see social media again? Nah, I'm good. I could do whatever. But criticism, constructive criticism, studio gangsters, you got this, that, and everywhere. but you just got to manage what you manage, and your algorithm is super important, right?
Yeah, very much.
Because
And just gotta have emotional intelligence, and that's something that I preach to a lot of the youngsters around me, and just telling them that part. You feel me? You can't get caught up in it. You feel me? You have to practice emotional intelligence, because you could crash out on in the instance of, because somebody says something about whatever you got going on, and they post something against you. Nah, man.
facts.
This is the internet, bro. This is Beyonce's internet, bro.
Hey,
Don't get caught up in it. Like, no, bro. Keep
you
doing
say the
you.
wrong thing about Beyonce. Hey, that beehive is on you though. Like they
Listen,
will
I
be
didn't say
on you.
this. I said that's why I let them. That is her internet.
That's
That is
it.
her internet. Is nothing negative against her. You feel me? I just let folks know that is her
For real.
internet, bro.
For real. Man, what's in store for you, man? Because your catalog is out there. A lot of people, we'll give people your stuff later. But what's in store for you in terms of new stuff? What does Creflo have in the 2026?
We're just currently gonna continue to push the Vernell Cutter project, because that just came out in October.
Okay.
Uh, Weird, the single Weird, that's the first single that got chose off the album, and we didn't choose that single. The people chose that single. And it's just so funny, because wasn't even the direction we were going to go. But everybody who heard that song, and everybody who continues to hear that song, continues to tell me your album is great, but Weird, oh,
It's
we
different.
love Weird.
It's different. It's a different kind of energy, and I think that stood out from a lot of what's on that project. Honestly, bro, like I think just listening to Weird just gave me a whole different kind of feeling, right? Like it was just different. And different, I'm
Yes.
talking about good, like creative though, bruh. Like, and
No,
now knowing
understood.
the origin story about how you do your music makes it layered up and appreciative even more. Like, it makes me want to run it back again. That's why it's on rotation on Next Legacy, bro. Like, that's
I
what it is.
appreciate it. But even with Weird, that record, so when we was recording it that night, it was a situation with me, the engineer who I was recording it. Shout out to Ash. That was my he engineered the whole project. He produced, engineered, made every beat. I called him Space. But me and him was having a conversation, and then I heard some music in the other room. And I'm like, somebody been in the other room the whole time? He was like, yeah, Blase Squazi. It's another engineer. I won't put his name out there. And I was like, bro crossed the way and he didn't come speak to me. And he was like, yeah, me and bro fell out. You feel me? And he was telling me the
Uh-oh.
backstory of why they fell out. And I was like, that's weird. Like, bro ain't came and spoke to me though. I'm big bro. Like, what? I was
Wow.
like, load up a track, Ash. I got something for that. And he loaded it up. He just started cooking. And then these niggas weird. And he looked back at me and was like, yeah, yeah. And
So,
that
all
was the
right.
birth of it.
I get it. I get it now. So, do you take certain moments of what's going on, not just in the studio, but just in general, before you even start spitting something out? Some of this stuff, unless you got that memory, like you said, is like a video concept. Like, you know what? Before I let it go, like not just this issue here in the studio, but just in general, would make a great like drawdown for a video concept or whatever. Do you kind of tackle
Yes.
that stuff too, or how does that
Yes,
work?
because that's how I started, especially with this Creflo stuff. That's how, well, not stuff, but this Creflo project and the music. That's how I was approaching it from all aspects. Like I said, I would lay down and listen to the beat before I even step in the booth and try to envision 100,000 people rocking to this. What does this video need to be? Because people are going to keep playing it back on YouTube. They're going to be playing it in their barbershops. It's going to be playing at restaurants, wherever. You feel me? How can I envision this whole thing before I even start making the song? And that's what it was. But like I said, with Weird, that was just one of those records where I promise you, I did not say like, but Weird, we gonna push this. Like, Weird was like the last thing on my mind as pushing as a record. But because so many people can relate to it, it was that's what they love it. And that's why I said this process for me was making records for the people, making sure that I make records that service the people. I wasn't trying to service my ego or stroke my ego in making any of these records this time. It was just strictly servicing the people. what can the people relate to? How can I make those undeniable records that the people will love and relate to and latch to? And that's what happened with, that's what's going on with the music. And there's other records too that people are latching on to, but just that's the first record we're going to give that real push. And this is the first time I've ever had this happen to me. And I've dropped numerous
Yeah,
projects as
yeah.
BC the Street Scholar. And I've had, those fan favorites, but this is that one where I constantly people come to me like, you there, but that
Yeah,
win?
but I think it's just your whole rebirth of who you are, where you want to be, how you want to play this game, right? Because
Definitely.
I mean, it's just energy don't lie, effort don't lie. Who
At
you
all.
are when you're your best self don't lie.
At
Like
all.
you're gonna be transformed if you transform from somebody to somebody else, and this is who you needed to be. This is who you needed to be. I didn't even tell Queen this. Shout out to her, but a lot of what you do and a lot of she got other people on the roster as well is marketable as fuck because of the originality that comes with this piece though.
Mhm.
It's not just something where you spitball it and people got different agendas when it comes to music, and sometimes in your art it transforms into that. Not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just what it is.
Mhm.
So I'm just putting you on front, Cref, because you're here with me. And like I said, shout out to Queen, but goddamn, marketable as fuck though. Like that's what I'm talking about. That's what we need when it comes to like getting real stuff out there beyond mainstream. Because I don't care about that. It is a label. It is what it is. But when you got good people doing good stuff, this comes out, bruh.
Nah, all
And that's
day.
not weird, but it is weird. Yeah, you
No
get
pun
it.
intended.
No pun intended. Exactly. Exactly. So you got this, you have other future endeavors and things like that. We talked about social media and everything else. Like, and you told me movies is in your horizon in the near future. So what else does Creflo do besides writing, besides, being an artist, besides being a future movie guy? What else do you do?
Well, I'm big in my community. I love my city to death. I'm currently the host of the Savannah Hurricanes, which is our minor league basketball team, and that came about because God gave me foresight. So as soon as they started the team, I was like, I got to be at every. For 4 seasons, I sat at sideline, or 3 seasons, either one. I was sideline every game that I could be there for the home game supporting them. And then this year, when I transformed to Creflo, and they was like, "Man, with you making the switch, and you already had, I done performed at halftime games for them, everything." They was like, "With you making the switch, and how much you support us, and you making the switch of your brand, we would love for your brand to collab with us." So now I'm the host of the Savannah Hurricanes. Like I said, I'm big in the community, helping other artists. And then I'm just, me, a family man, a cool guy. I'm a personal trainer, but more so a life coach. So I got a lot of people that come in, and once they get in there with me, they like, bro, how did you know this about me? Like I just started training a guy the other day, and I was asking him like, why you bitter? He looked up at me like, what you mean? How you know I'm bitter? And I was like, bro, like I can see it. It's reeking out of you. You feel
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
One day
yeah.
we're melanated men in America. We're all bitter, but for you to come to me, like to the dojo with me, you gotta be bitter. You feel me? Like, and he was like, then he just went to spilling it out. You feel me? So I thank God for making me a life coach and being going through so many things, prison and home invasions and drug rage. You feel me? I've been through so much that I had to learn. God taught me how to empathize with people. And my main thing I tell people is you can't really empathize with somebody unless you've been through it.
That's right.
Cause then you can say, man, I've been there. I pray for you. And my thing was, I don't tell people, oh, I'm sorry for you, or none of these things. The first thing I tell somebody is, bro, I'm praying for you. Cause I know when I was going through whatever situation I was going through, I needed somebody to pray for me. I didn't need nobody to tell me that cliche answer of, man, I'm so sorry for you. Damn, that happened to you. What? That's crazy. All that shit you hear. Fuck no. Bro,
Yeah.
I'm praying for you. And I'm praying for that person for real. I pray for my crowds when I finish with them. Like, so I pray for people. Like, so I let people know, bro, I'm praying for you. I empathize with you, bro, for real, because I feel what you're going through.
Look, bro, that's big. And shout out to you for embracing your your empathic nature when you say, because it's different, and you know what I mean when I say this. It's different because people could say they could read the room. I could do that too, but also I could read the energy in each person in each room too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can get that. Like, people say it's bullshit, but it's not. Like it's those who get it. And those who,
No,
and I'm not saying it's I'm 100% dialed in, but damn it, I'm 99.99 though. You
I get
feel
it.
me? So it's a
I get
little
it.
different.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Different. Um, but you talked about stuff that you do for people, which I,
Mm-hmm.
love you for. Props up top. But what do you do for you? Got him.
I work out, bro.
Got
Like
him.
I'm still working on me, bro, and that's what I'm finding out now. I'm working on me, and I'm trying to find happiness, bro. I'm still bitter, bro.
All right,
I'm
all right,
still
all right,
bitter,
all right, all right.
but I'm removing it now, and these are the things that I'm praying for. I'm praying for peace, for tranquility, and God is now putting me in a restoration state where He's starting to allow me to enjoy life and and enjoy happiness. But some of us are just here to be of service to people, bro. I tell my team all the time, like, I'm
We're
gonna
we're
implode.
here. Listen, Cref, we're here for that is what we're put on earth to do is to pay it forward to that. But also you gotta have your circle to watch out for you and just remind you though, pour into yourself too. Like,
They be on me. They be on me, but I'm
hey,
I'm
hey, I'm
I'm
gonna be one of them
super
though.
hard on
I'm gonna
myself.
be one of them because I could again. I can't just read the room. I get you. So everything you say is pushing forward, so you can make sure that you pay it forward to other people. But it's up to us now. And I know Queen's a part of this, and I am now too. We gotta watch you though. We gotta make sure we watch you and make sure that we take care of you and don't forget yourself in the process.
But
That's
listen, bro, and
important.
this listen, bro, and this is just something I tell my partner all the time. Like, I want to have that Martin Luther King, that Malcolm X legacy, that Tupac legacy that lives on forever. And I feel like that's how I pay it back to myself, because that's what I think is everlasting life. That's eternal life for real, because their names still live on. There's a Martin Luther King street in every city that you go to, in every
Exactly.
inner street. You feel me?
Exactly.
Tupac, he, like I said, what I saw in Africa. So, and I feel like that's how I pay myself back, by putting that work in to get that, and letting my name live on, and letting my nephews, nieces be happy to see that Unc just wasn't in the streets. Unc really was like in the streets, like
Right, right,
really
right.
here, and he's still here. Like, I'm not gone. I'm still here. My spirit lives on. This is a spirit world. I'm just a vessel. You feel me? So
So bam,
that,
you say that, and I got you there, and as people that's your disciples like us, we gonna applaud you for doing that. But we will also make sure that we preserve your legacy by basically saying there will be a Creflo Boulevard and a Creflo Street, and that legacy as far as what you do in music and more is going to be preserved and honored and carried out through multiple generations because that's how we supposed to do it. It's not just you. You are a part of a chosen path, but we have to make sure that we, you know,
understood.
keep you rolling
I
too. You know
receive
what I
that.
mean? So
I
that's
receive
what I
that. That's
believe
something
in.
I've been on lately. I receive that.
Yeah, yeah, that's big, bro. Hey, if you receive it and it's given like that, then let's put it to work, bro. Let's just make
I
sure
got
that
you.
it gets out there when it comes to that. So, couple more quick questions, man. And you talked about a lot
Okay.
in general, and I totally appreciate you being transparent and shit like that. So this one's an easy, I don't know if it's an easy layup for you, but you could answer the question in either way. Like if you took an artist, you got three artists that you could if you were I'm not gonna do this whole if you were on a stranded island or something like that. If you could just take three artists that's not yourself and just be like, you know what, I learned from these three artists about whatever. What are those three artists? Any genre of any decade or whatever. Three artists that literally changed your life and your path and why.
Three artists that changed my life. One, of course, like I said, Tupac. He tremendously changed my life. Two, Jeezy, like, because I just feel like I relate to his story. And third is R. Kelly. I know people are giving flack for it, but like as a creative genius, like, and understanding, what he did for music and how much he did with music, like like that's one of my goats. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, everybody. Please don't
Be sorry,
crucify me.
R. Kelly, the artist, is will forever be amazing, bro. Like we can
The artist,
compartmentalize that.
yeah,
The
the
artist
artist is
R. Kelly was fucking genius. Like we
a
all know that.
genius. Yeah, so I
We
don't know
know that.
Robert. I do not know Robert. You feel me? I don't know him. But
I got
R.
you.
Kelly,
I
the
got you.
creator, he's top tier for me. I'm sorry. Like I
Right
tell
on.
people all the time, Sundays is for R. Kelly in my
Right.
car and in my home. I'm sorry.
Right on. Right on. I can't hate you on that, bro. I can't hate you. It's hey, like I said, there's a difference. So
And
hey,
then and
facts
then I,
there.
and then an honorable mention. I gotta give it to Jay-Z just because what he did for the business side of it and showing us what we could do with the business of it. Like he's
Put it like
very
this: Jay-Z preserved a hip hop legacy that was really on the edge, really, when you think about it, from a business standpoint as well. So he brought a little bit of something back and stuff like that. You have to take pieces of, and I don't care if you're fans or whoever, you have to take pieces of how we gave birth to this culture of hip hop, uh, and brought it into the mainstream and entertainment. And there's so many layers of legacies that paved ways for it, like from the Grandmaster Flashes to the Rock M's to the Public Enemies, the Run DMCs, the the Latifahs, the MC Lights. You can go on and on and on as far as how it was preserved for us to be able to still have these conversations and memories and stuff like that. I think is vital. Like last one though,
all
before you
right.
give shout outs, what is one specific moment in music, and I don't care what it is. It could have been a performance, it could have been something that changed the core values of what it is that will forever stay in your head.
Just that either somebody did or that I did.
Somebody did.
That somebody did a core moment in music. I have to let me dig in my archive.
I'll give you an example so you can see where I'm going with this. So
Okay.
let's just say when Michael Jackson took that Thriller album and brought it onto MTV,
Okay.
that changed the landscape of how people watch stuff, right? Like not
Yeah.
just videos, but even people like us, right? Like we were on that TV at that particular time, which was needed for our culture to be where it's at.
Okay.
As an example.
That's why I say let me dig in my archive because there's so many. Like I say, when I say I'm entrenched in music, like I'm entrenched in music, but I'm thinking for that one moment that
Yeah.
just was like, I got to do this. That
Yeah.
that was the one that inspired me to really do this. And I'm not gonna take. Let me just
Oh, you
do it.
good, man. You good. Love giving folks like, different things
That's
to think
that.
about as they
That's that one. That's dang. Hold on. Let me just.
love it.
I'm playing back. I'm playing back something that just I looked at and it inspired me. Like really pushed me. And I have to go back to like I said, that moment when I was in Africa and I heard those folks ask me for a Tupac tape. Did I have a Tupac tape? And then me and all those kids sitting around jamming Tupac. Like that moment was like the inspiration of all inspirations because I could not understand any other words they were saying. But that vibe that we were having right there was a moment I'll never forget. I couldn't understand their word they were saying outside of Tupac tape.
Straight up.
But all of us were sitting there communing as one, jamming to the music and having a good time.
I
That
think people
moment
tend
there,
to I think people tend to forget the impact that Tupac really and truly had in the world. Like, it
nah,
wasn't on a Michael Jackson level like that, but I think his loss and losing him literally left a big chunk of the hip hop soul that could never be filled ever. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Once he was gone, I really and truly think his loss was, oh, it just really exposed a really dark hole in the soul of hip hop when he left. Man, it's just fact.
But did he leave? Once again, I say he was just a vessel. We all just,
Amen
on
to
this
that though.
human experience. So
Amen to
did
that.
he really leave? Is the
No,
question.
no, but you know why? Because he gave us so much that we still can go back and listen to again. You're 100% right. So,
Still to this day, that's why I say he gave so much of himself,
yep,
and till this day, people still have arguments about him and still speak on him. So that's why I say,
facts,
did he really
facts.
leave?
Nah, you nailed it right there, bro. So, man, I appreciate you, bro. And give shout outs to anybody you could think of, man. The floor is yours for giving shout outs to whoever.
First and foremost, I just want to give a big shout out to my father. God bless his soul for just being a believer in me. You feel me? Shout out to my son Kyle, of course, because without cutting that energy that he sent through me, I probably would not have came back here. I'd probably be somewhere with the cartel right now, having a blast over there in Mexico somewhere. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to my team. Shout out to Queen, CJ, Ash, my homeboy Aspen. Shout out to my family, my mama, my nephews, my nieces, my sisters, everybody that believes in me. And then shout out to just everybody who supports my music, everybody who supports the Creflo brand, who supported the VP, the Street Scholar brand, anybody who's ever shown support to me, future supporters, like just I love y'all and just everybody, you feel me? Everything I've went through in life has just been for this moment and the moments that are to come, you feel me? So anybody who's crossed paths in my life and that I've allowed to come in the realm of my life, whether it was on a bad situation or a good situation, both of them are illusions, and it's still all love because they made me to the man I am and becoming to this day. So it's just like love. Everybody is love.
Always, always. Where can they find you on social media, bro?
Creflo Scholar, Creflo Scholar, like Creflo Dollar, but Creflo Scholar, because I be preaching that real shit to the streets. And if they looking for me on any of the DSPs, just type in Creflo in all caps, and you'll pull up the Vernell Cutter project. And then also if they're looking for the old stuff to dig into it, VPDA Street Scholar, you'll pull up all the old albums. And y'all can dig into it and dig in them crates and see some of the stuff I was talking about, man, and check it out.
There it is, man. I can't thank you enough for
And
tapping
I
in and
appreciate
just
you.
being part of this legacy, man. And I'm proud of you, bro. Like I said, we didn't
Thank
have
you.
dialogue until just now, man. But just to catch your energy before we connected like this through your music, and now to be able to get this, it's just a blessing and then some to be able to just be around or be surrounded by people who are just getting it, man. And when I say getting it, it's not about the results, it's about the effort. I live on that, man. A trying man or a trying woman or a trying kid is everything. We gon' get it. We may not get it all the time, but we gon' get it. But if you keep that effort going, you can't be stopped, bro. You can't.
It's in God's time, man. That's what I had to realize. You
That's it.
feel me? I got so frustrated and worried about when it was my time, and it's like, nah, it's on His time and on His frequency. And if the frequency ain't right, then He can't help us. You feel me? The universe can't help us and give us what we want. The universe want to bless us, but it's only gonna bless you, like they say. He can't bless no mess. You feel me? And
Facts.
before I was a whole mess. You feel me? I wasn't articulating like this when I was VP the Street Scholar. Like
Right.
this was not the frequency I was on. You feel me? So to be able to be here, like I said, I tell everybody just continue to trust God. He is a redeemer. He will restore. He will renew you. And everything he said he will give you, he will give you. Like he's only a gift giver. You feel me? That's all he's in the business of. You feel me? So
Facts.
keep trusting him is what I tell people.
Said, man, hey, man, I can't thank you enough. Can't wait to have you back so we can continue to break records and your
I
music's
can't
on
wait to be
rotation.
back.
So it's in safe hands, and we're gonna keep, expanding the brand and just trying to be able to get this gospel out, bro. Because it's deeper, like you said, than just us, man. We just got to radiate it to everywhere else, so everywhere else can understand this energy. Because this energy is unmatched, bro. I'm just saying.
I appreciate y'all for just doing what y'all doing and giving artists a platform and even continuing to push and help artists. You feel me? So it takes the radio DJs and people that's pushing the music out for this thing to keep going. You feel me? So I appreciate y'all for what y'all doing and even taking the time to have this conversation with me.
Always, man, with no conditions over here, man. That's how we get down, bro. So I appreciate it, man. Until the next time, man. Let's keep grinding, man. Let's get it.
Hey, get money. That's right.
That's what it is. Appreciate
All
it,
right.
man. That is Creflo. Man, that guy's a great guy. I appreciate all the people out there tapping in. Um, I just appreciate the energy that my YouTube live people has given me. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the people that's at all the other social media platforms as well. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications button. Also, and you know what I'm saying. Thanks to the people at who's tapped in and tuned in always, and you know what I'm saying. Shout out to my homeboy. Oba has this movie out that's a free scan, so go check that out. Temperature Rising. This station is brought to you by that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the people out there who's just winning and doing all what it takes to win and just not giving up on themselves at the end of the day. So, I always tell people this, like, the if I pour into you, the only way you can be able to give this back to me is if you understand what I'm doing, celebrate what I'm doing, and pour back. It shouldn't be that hard. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's opportunity laced, sometimes it's different. So I just need y'all to really recognize that we're out here trying to be able to do real things and put stuff out there from a different perspective, maybe that you have tapped in and see. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. I do have a book available. It's amplified. It's available on Amazon. Next week should be in Barnes and Nobles. Make sure you go ahead and check out the Amazon store. Type in Charles Madison Amplify. You should be able to see that. Shout out to all the people who have bought it. The reviews will be coming in hot. I'm sure, and I appreciate it. Until the next hit.